Saturday night, and Europe are 4 points from victory already. Two full sessions still left to play. USA with only 4 points on the board, but one of those in this session from Parker Bohn III. Can he get another one in our final match of the evening against Dominic Barrett? Here it is with your commentators, Cass Edwards and Simon Golding.
Thanks, Tony. No doubt about it, the Americans will be suffering right now. They'll have a little look at the scoreboard and they'll be thinking, this isn't right. This just isn't right. 13-4 in favour of Team Europe. At worst, it really should have been 12-5, but Tommy Jones, the captain, just couldn't get the job done against Osku-Tommy, so that means that Parker Bohn steps up to try and put at least some gloss on what has happened this evening. The only left-hander in the tournament starts with a shot he's seen too much of so far this year. A flat 7 in that corner.
Yeah, it's all to do with the angle that Parker's ball is coming in behind the head pin. Too much power at the end there. And that 4 pin just doesn't want to know about hitting that 7 pin. It'll be a spare, and he'll take those all night in his sleep.
Well, a replay from the singles match that we saw in match 15, Barrett versus Parker. And Parker Bohn up against Dom Barrett. Well, it's one of those fixtures you'd love to pick out of the hat any day of the week, and we get to watch it twice in one evening. But from Dominic Barrett's point of view, he'd like to just regain a bit of pride here.
Yeah, it was a 229-200 victory for the left-hander, and as you say, the European captain would like to get some pride back. He's coming through the headpin in that high breaking ball there. Through wide, leaves the 3 and a 6 standing. Should be a straightforward spare, but not the best looking shot to start with.
Well, if it goes 14-4, it's impossible to see how USA recover from that. That's where those fairy tale stories start, with scorelines that seem impossible. But that would mean that at some point during Sunday's play, Team Europe have to virtually collapse us.
I think if they win this one, someone's going to shout, "Start the car." As a well-known commentator in the UK has said when it's nearly all over.
Yes, indeed. Parker Bohn certainly needs to rev it up. Shot. Nice looking shot, that. It's always good. The left-handers have got this knack of just making those pins all disappear away to the side, sweeping them before him.
Yeah, he's got the left-hand side of the lane all to himself for the whole tournament. And he steps up. I think some of the audience are still in a little bit of shock after that roll-off in the previous game. It's not something that you see every tournament, and it was certainly exciting.
Just classic Weber Cup drama. That's what this tournament has been about over the years, since its inception in 2000. And that's why it keeps attracting the fans and the worldwide attention that it does. The Weber Cup is something special.
Well, it's the reason that the top players in the world want to come and play here. Okay, it's Europe versus USA, but gosh, they're fighting for places.
It's the big ticket in terms of team bowling. So, a strike apiece. Bohn, the first man to work that strike into frame 3. Got a little wide, never came back.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. He's been so inconsistent, which is unusual for Parker Bohn. I mean, normally once he's found the pocket, he'll be there all day and all night shooting strikes just for fun, but just hasn't managed most of the games on this Weber lane to string those strikes together.
Well, no dramas yet.
Well, Dom has the chance here to shoot the double in frames 2 and 3. And retain that 20-pin lead, which is the maximum scores on the screen at the moment.
Distinctive pop as the thumb comes out of the ball. And that was a hell of a delivery.
He's using a very aggressive bowling ball. He's upped his speed, which holds pocket all the way. It really is absolutely roaring back into the between the 1 and the 3 pin. Carries all 10, 2 strikes in a row.
Potential 20-pin difference already built up. That means that this man, Parker Bohn III, has to make the strike here. And he goes deeper in the mire. He's down as well. We saw Wes Malott collapse to the lane. Why? Why me? He's asking.
Yeah, well, it's almost too much ball. It's cut through the 1, 2 and the 5, and the power's just driven it backwards. And it's missed the 9 pin, although it's wobbling. And it just hasn't fallen over. You rely on the cascading effect, the chain reaction for some of those back row pins. And it just didn't go, and how frustrating that must be for him.
A sucker punch then for Parker Bohn III. And it floored him temporarily. Look at the difference now in those potential maximums. There is an ebb and flow to 10-pin bowling. We've seen that quite a few of the matches. I'm amazed though, I really am amazed, Cass, that the Americans haven't managed to push it into the latter stages of games to at least ask the European players a question.
Yeah, it's asking the question. As you say, lots of the games are dead and buried by the 7th or 8th frame. But on paper, you look at the American side and you think, gosh, there's 4 of the greatest players in the world at the moment. And they're getting kicked out the ground, I'm afraid.
That'll help the team in red anyway. Barrett can't believe it.
Yeah, 2-4-10. It's a makeable split. So he's only just made the head pin, which kicks left, and there's no chain reaction down the 2 and the 4 pin. He's going to give this one a shot. If he can hit this 2 pin left-hand side, bounce it across.
Oh,
just like that. Oh dear.
Well, if you look back to Palermo's spare in the last match, Cass, that proved to be decisive. That gave him a chance. This one will keep Barrett in it, certainly.
Yeah, great looking shot. Well done, Dom. Showing the crowd that these splits can be made. So a big one in the previous game with Osku-Tommy.
It can be made and can be vitally important. So 2-6-7 plays 2-5-9. There's nothing in it. Bohn needs a strike. He gets a strike. Ah, that's better.
Yeah, he's still there. 2 strikes, 3 spares. Of course, the other thing I'd say about splits, Simon, is that to pick them up, you've actually got to leave them. So you've got to have a bit of an error on the ball to leave the split, even though if you pick it up, everybody shouts and cheers and says, well bowled.
The imaginary tinkle on the air keyboard there from the New Jersey maestro. Barrett then needs to get back on the strike line. Finds it. And finds it pretty well.
Yeah, great looking shot. 3 strikes out of 5 for the European captain. Maintains that very slim lead with a great looking shot. Just comes rolling back from the right hand side of the lane, doesn't it? He's lofted the ball out just to give it that little bit of extra length. He knows it's a very aggressive bowling ball that he's using. And if he's not fast enough or wide enough, that will come roaring back and go right through the face of the one pin.
Yeah, an aggressive ball he's having to throw aggressively. The more effort you're putting into the delivery, the more opportunity there is for just those little things to not line up. Smooth as you like from Parker Bohn. We've got a game on our hands here.
Yeah, it's good to see. It's about time Parker really got lined up. He's not had the best of carry with the pins, and he'll salute that one. It's 2 strikes in a row, so let's go Parker.
That takes both men to 25 strikes in the tournament. Not bad going. But for the Team Europe captain, Dominic Barrett, fantastic debut as the skipper so far. I just like the way they've not thought about how and why they've ended up in this position. They've just worked on how they continue to apply the pressure. And they've done that so superbly well, Cass. Yes, they've had the rub of the green. They've had a few breaks in Ryder Cup 16.
Yeah, they certainly have, but as a team, mentally, they've grouped together, they've supported one another, they've given one another advice on how the lane is playing, and they've just utilised it, and they've screamed to a huge lead.
Could get even better as well. Double from both men.
Still potentially a high-scoring match, 2-6-7, 2-5-9, if they can both strike off.
So Barrett just steals the lead on the strikes, and Parker Bohn being asked to go back. Hasn't gone for a re-rack.
I think somebody just put him off on the left-hand side, sorry, on the right-hand side of the lane. Somebody moving or speaking, maybe.
Again, it was a ball that started off pretty well, looked okay, but he's struggling to get this ball back to the pocket with any sort of volition.
There is a lack of drive there on certain shots. It's unfortunate just to leave the 3 and the 6 pin, which was a very makeable spare, and then go hard and straight into it and pick it up. But there was a chance there to make 3 strikes in a row and blew it.
So again, that massive deficit in the potential maximums opens up.
Well, it gives Barrett a chance to shoot the 3rd strike in a row and retain that lead.
Yeah, the first turkey might be the turkey that does it.
Well, yeah, we could say that Parker's kind of opened the door a little bit for Dom to push on through. Can he convert?
There we go, 26 strikes, 14 spares, 5 opens. Would you take that at the start of a tournament?
Well, the 5 opens, most of those have been splits, so it's difficult to convert them, but he won't be happy with 5 opens. The strikes, yeah, pretty good.
Oh, you heard that ball tracking its way across. That was a strange delivery. This was a very lazy outcome from the ball.
Yeah, got too wide. It was a 2-4-10. Again, a makeable split. Not happy with that. Got the ball too far out on the right-hand side of the lane. Didn't give it a chance to come back. Of course, he was throwing it with power as well.
He's already made 1 big split in this match. Can he do it again?
He will be trying. He really can't afford an open frame.
Big ask. Goes after it. Needs to chip it across, and he does. Oh, magnificent from the Team Europe captain. And the Dominator is the spare king at the moment in this one.
Big pressure time. Look at this. Hard and straight. Just chip that 2-pin across. As easy as pie. Thanks very much. Sit down. Get on with the game. Makes it look so easy, doesn't he?
He battered that. What a shot from Barrett. And some spares feel a little more special than others. That was a good delivery to keep him on track for the win. Parker Bohn has to hit back then with a strike of his own here. He doesn't. That was, well, we've seen that shot quite a lot from him now. The one that looks like it's going to leave the 4-pin bucket. He's got rid of a couple of them there, but he was close.
Just doesn't get into a proper roll at the right place. It's sort of spinning too much and not coming out of the hook and not setting up a roll into the pocket. It's rolling late, I think. Of course, there's no drive through the pins there. There's your 3 on the 9-pin sleeper. Let's go for the pin at the back. Must cover that back pin. Covers it well. It's a good spare, but spares are not what he needs. Now Don Barrett's working on a bonus after picking up that split. This really is a bonus ball.
The reason for that talk is, he was telling me last night, it's all about reaffirming the shot that he knows he's got to go for. Just giving himself the picture again of that oil pattern and exactly where he needs to throw this ball. And if you visualise, if you talk to yourself about these shots, it just helps in terms of the muscle memory, in terms of what you need to do with the body. Let's see if it works for Barrett. Oh, he's talked it up for a big messenger on the 10-pin.
Really lofted this shot down the lane, played straight, came in fraction light, but he's got a head pin messenger. And there it goes, takes the 10-pin away with power. And that really was a bonus ball. After that split conversion, he's hit a strike to maintain that lead.
Boom, says Barrett. Into the foundation frame for PB3. He's got it. That's the line he needs to be bowling. He's got to trust himself. It's tight, there's not a lot of room for error, but when he bowls it, it works.
He just gets into a roll that time and carries all 10, but it's only 4 strikes in the whole game for Parker Bohn, which is most unusual. And that averages over 220 on the PBA Tour for a whole season, and I'm talking over 150 games, 225 plus average. Just really hasn't got going here at the Weber Cup.
Again, Don Barrett trying to compose himself here. He knows that the last strike had a pretty big slice of luck about it. And his luck has run out.
Well, that was the biggest ball of this game because it would have given Dom 2 strikes in a row going into the foundation frame. He's lofted it, but unfortunately it cuts back too much. Hits the head pin high. Can't kick out that 4-pin. So it can only be a spare, and look at the doing a quick depreciation in his score, his maximums.
And again, forced to take the spare. Just a pin in it now, and Parker Bohn back in. And ominously, the shot he threw in the last frame, a good one. So I wouldn't mind betting he's in for the 3 strikes here for 225.
Certainly needs the first one. He's got a strike in the 9th. He must double.
Now, if he strikes it off the card, it's done. Game's over. Nothing Barrett can do when he steps up to finish off. But if he errs from that path, he's going to leave room for manoeuvre for the European captain. The head pin is always going to leave something, unless you can get very, very lucky.
Well, yeah, his maximum score drops to 204 if he can spare this one. Just a fraction high. Breaks up the 6 and the 8 split. Single pin spare.
So earns the extra ball. If he makes this pass, what does Barrett have to do with his first delivery?
He needs to make a spare. A 9 spare would be great.
There we go then. Just needs to fill the frame. Doesn't need to do anything special, Barrett. And that's if Parker Bohn strikes, which he does. So he's going to make Dominic Barrett stand up.
Yeah, score 205 is not the greatest game, but he, as you say, Simon, he's going to ask Don Barrett to put something on the board. First ball strike and the game's over. And Spear will also set up for victory.
We've already had drama this evening. Tommy Jones had the game for the taking against Osku-Tommy and blew it. Dominic Barrett will be trying here to ensure that history does not repeat itself, this time against European expectation. Watches it all the way into the pocket for a magnificent win. Dominic Barrett takes revenge on Parker Bohn for the earlier defeat this evening.
Yeah, cracking shot right at the time he needed it. First ball in the 10th. So it's victory and another point for Europe, and it's becoming almost embarrassing because this will be 14 points to Europe and still only 4 to the USA. Going out in grand style.
And there you go, that's a big fat line drawn under the evening's proceedings. It's another sensational Weber Cup session for Team Europe here in Barnsley. And this time, courtesy of the captain, Dominic Barrett. In the end, nothing Parker Bohn could do about stopping that one. And I'm not sure what Team USA can do from here to stop this runaway performance by Team Europe. 2:23 then beats 2:05. Dominic Barrett puts another point on the board. Team Europe lead 14-4 in Weber Cup 16. Reaction after the break with Tony and Guy.